Hey, what's up, man?
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
It's been too long. One of my favorite people.
What do you attack? Oh, yeah.
Got a smudgy bone.
It's another dog bone.
Yeah. So, how was your Christmas?
My Christmas was wonderful.
Was it a wonderful life?
Yeah. No, I got this Atari Game Station Go,
I saw that, yeah.
which is the new handheld, and
Is it all the classic games?
well, yeah, it's got a bunch of classic games on it, and I mean,
I haven't had enough of the green go-go
you can
juice.
hack it and put like a SD card in there and like all the ROMs from any game that you want. But
Well, that was one of the most interesting things about getting to know you, because when I first met you, you were the and respect. Like I always say, you're one of the hardest working guys in the music scene. Also the music business, but I mean, like in the actual scene, the open mics and you toured like a champ, dude. And so, whenever people talk about Joe Shelton, I always just say, man, that guy, he's doing it. So, but the thing that surprised me about you was knowing your tech background. And that's going to be some of our topic of conversation, because even though I'm having a lot of musician guests, it's not a music podcast. So,
Okay.
So what were you saying though about you could hack it? And
if you want to hack it, like you can put it, like they have a lot of ROMs out there on the web. ROMs are like the original programs from like arcade games
for the guests, not for the host, because
yeah,
I'm not.
or from like PlayStation or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But there's a SD card slot in it, and it's hackable. So
Nice.
like,
One of my favorite all-time comic
you can put
books.
thousands of games on there if you want, but I'm pretty much. I bought the thing to play what it came. I didn't buy it. I got it.
I mean, why do you want to work on something? I mean, just because something is hackable, you don't need to hack it.
Yes, I see.
Listen up, hackers. Like
when
you don't.
when you see this stuff online, it's like they complain about the stuff that like they can't really hack very well.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't
How
play
dare
very
you.
well when I put Super Mario on it. It's like, well, who gives a crap? Like that's not what it was built for. Of course, it doesn't play that well.
Well, we were talking before we went live, and I was telling you about my mom and how she was this very kind of elegant, well-spoken, like old era broad, for lack of a better term. I mean, she could cuss with an Irish guy, but when she was out, she put on her best clothes. But in the 80s, she was completely fascinated with the rise of the home PC and all this. And she wound up being one of the biggest database people in Indianapolis. She worked on like the city government's do not call list. She worked on political campaigns and all this stuff. And I lost it. I keep losing thoughts when I'm doing it. The thing about hacking is in that era, the internet was supposed to be free. I know that sounds like a wispy hippie dream nowadays, but the original movement of all of these computer geeks and all these hackers and all these gearheads and all these nerds, right? The names could go on and on and on, because it was almost like this new evolutionary branch of mankind. Who are these weirdos? And it was like, I want access to the DoD databases because I'm a citizen, and the internet is a force for good. It's a force for information openness. How, for you, since you're a techie, how sad are you that the internet has just become more castles, like more little fiefdoms in Europe? Like each bastion is protected and all of this. And do you think that we would be better off if the tech boom had stayed along that original path?
I don't know. I think that since I grew up as one of the people that did that.
Yeah. You struck me that way, like at home, teach myself.
Yeah, I mean, I started off with a TRS-80 in 4th grade, and then I got that was at school. Like my in 4th grade, my teacher, she was an elderly teacher. She was close to retirement, right? And
so she was trying to fix the computer with
no,
a hammer and chisel.
They gave her the computer. Like there was one computer in the school, right, at that time, right? So they
give Oregon Trail.
They give it to her because she's she has the most seniority.
Oh.
Well, this is like this is a very backwards 1970s thing, early 80s thing to do, right?
Yeah, she'll figure it out.
It's like, why would you give it to the oldest person who doesn't want to, like they're getting ready to retire? They don't really want to learn something new.
Well,
right?
but you answered it, seniority.
It's
that
like
awfulness.
So, to me, that always was a statement as to what was going to happen in computers always, which is, with our technology, we are going to put it into places that it doesn't belong and see how it floats.
Where you went. Yeah, I see where you went with it.
And we're going to, when we do put it where it belongs, there's going to be people who don't understand it or use it for the wrong purposes or for whatever purpose they want. When I think of how it comes back to your question, I think, we as folks, we are what we are. We are fiefdoms. We are capitalists. We are, and so,
by the way,
it's not shocking to me that it went away from the hippie, everything's free model into capitalism, because once the capitalist people saw, hey, there's a way to use this,
and to monopolize it,
right.
One of the rules of the podcast, by the way, I tell every guest, is the only answer that's not acceptable is that it's just the way it is. Like that's the one answer that I will just not ever not push on, because I'm tired of people just going, well, it's just the way it is, and I want to get really past that. Well,
I apologize.
Oh, it's okay.
What I was saying is, it's to me part of human nature is that
the ultimate is just the way it is.
That people are selfish.
Yeah.
And so when you have something that is, very much a communal idea, like we're going to take open source software, which is still a big thing, honestly. It's kind of amazing to me how much open source software there still is.
Yeah, starting with the classic Linux or whatever.
Right. Well, I mean, Linux is the second most popular OS in the world.
I gotta stop you.
That's just because it's on Google phones, not because it's actually popular.
I'm being determined and a little hardcore with my guests, because, like I said, I mean, the whole point of the podcast is how do we get to a human answer and resolution to all of the problems we talk about in a post-AI future, and a lot of that addictive fallback to things like you just said. The question was, did it?
Did it make me sad?
So let me try this. You said bad people got a hold of it. Just like bad people got a hold of splitting the atom, and instead of energy, we got bombs, right? Get it. Totally get it. That is human nature. Totally get it. Okay. But with every guest, I've talked about the notion that I believe in, which is we've kind of crossed this line where we can kind of get rid of the primate reptilian side of our brain, the compete at all costs, kill my competition to get above, hoard all of the 58 billion beans and then have the super yachts and look down on. Okay. Like, I honestly think we're there because we can just push buttons and create everything easily forever, right? Nobody has to suffer. So bad people got a hold of it. If it were completely open and free, there would have been no bad thing if the bad people grabbed it and used it, because it would have been openly nefarious. It would have been openly, oh, look what they're doing with it. And so it's not so much that bad people were able to jump into that open river of, no controls on information flow. It's that at some point we allowed them to own it. At some point, we allowed them to say, no, you can't discuss this. No, you can't have access to this information. That's what I'm talking about. Nefarious people, obviously, always. That breaks my heart. Because I'm an idealist, Joe.
I mean, I don't know that everyone that necessarily, there are bad souls, right? But I don't know that it's always bad people that have decided to make money off of the internet. I think it's that what it is really is that if we want things to be really good in anything they are, there has to be something that actually makes it
a standard.
It makes it something that a person can do for themselves.
Like all the railroad tracks being the same distance apart.
And that we paid for people to build them, because people wouldn't have just gone out there and built them, like for the goodness of their heart, because they have to support their family and they have to do, so those people get hired to build the railroad tracks.
But again, I have
that requires money. Like
again, I have to stop because we're Americans. right? And even though, and we're going to get into politics a little bit because you and I have never gotten political together, and it's one of the reasons I think we're so good together is that we never went there together. But I also think that you and I are the kind of people that can talk about it without it being hate-filled, right? So that's going to be one block of this. But I have to resist a little bit because everything kind of falls back into this capitalist model. That's the way America is. And believe me, I'm a believer that America's done the best shit that the world's ever seen. Like, I'm not faulting a capitalist model at all. But I don't like that it's completely negated that if the tech geeks, the dreamers, the ones that wanted it to all be open, because I'll always default to the misfits, Joe, you know this about me. Why couldn't they have directed the internet, being that they were the ones that understood it more? Like, why did we hand it off to the marketing guy at Pfizer? Or why did we hand it off to the entertainment industry to decide, we're just going to make it like a Rolling Stones show, and like every podcast has to start off like mine, right? It's kind of a joke of mine, the 1, 2, I'm not doing that because I want people to watch my show because it's edgy. I did it as a joke, right? Why? Like,
I hope
why
your
does
show's edgy. Come on. I didn't come on a non-edgy show, did I?
Oh, you want to get edgy?
I thought it was going to be edgy.
No, but like I hate how in America everything has to be condensed into that pre-existing Hollywood / political / CNN / mass entertainment model. And and then I'm going to shut up. But I honestly believe if we had let those dreamers kind of spearhead the evolution of it, it wouldn't be as bad.
I don't know. I think we did let them, and that's part of why it is.
Steve Jobs?
Steve Jobs is a little different than some others, but like I wouldn't even say that he was all that powerful as powerful as he was.
He was good at looking like he was, though.
What's really powerful is Mark Zuckerberg, okay, who was definitely one of those guys.
An original thief, right?
Right.
An original thief,
he's still definitely one of those guys, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the whole thing, the whole way that he wanted to put a company together was never like what it became. It was, I want to do something cool. I want like everybody to jump in here and have a thing, and then at some point, and he did for years, they didn't really try to monetize Facebook. Right. And then they did.
Yeah. And
when they did, there's only like, it's like, well, how do I make money off of something that everybody gets for free?
It seems to me, and God bless you, Joe, it seems to me like you're romanticizing that evolution a little bit, because for me, he did it for free to get substantial, right? And I honestly think that there's been this staged, tiered kind of like, okay, now that we've done this and hooked everybody, then we can just start pumping money out of them. And I honestly don't think Zuckerberg was sitting there at some point thinking, I'm never going to try to make money on this. I mean, he's too much.
Oh, I don't think that either. But yeah. I mean, I do think that part of the soul of where it began was, all of my friends here in college, let's get them all together in one place.
Yeah.
Let's do something wicked.
And that's that original internet vibe.
Yeah.
Like if that is,
but it never stays that way.
But why? That's the thing. I need an answer, Joe.
Because when you get older, you need money. Because of you're in this construct in this world where we don't have a utopian ability. Okay.
Oh, okay. That's a deep statement right there.
So if you look at it, and this is going to get geeky real fast. Let's talk about Star Trek.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Which one? So, the old or the news?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
All of the whole universe is predicated on something called a replicator. Okay.
Yeah.
Because once you create a replicator, which means it creates all goods that you can possibly create for no cost.
3D printers.
Right. Once it can create anything at all, including food, then society changes what its goals are.
Yeah.
Like the goals
we don't
to
have
survive,
to suffer for the job just to get food. Yeah.
Our goals to survive or to like make ourselves better and all of those things
and reproduce
is based on what we can produce and gather.
And now it's just all thrown at our feet.
It's like, okay, well, here you have everything. Go.
Have you ever read?
So like the whole society changed. It could go either way with that because some of those societies in Star Trek are not great.
No.
Other ones are mostly because they like decided, well, there's no need to fight with each other anymore.
Yeah.
Like we now have all of the stuff that we would ever want.
And that echoing emptiness of purpose that follows that, right? Like what
So
and
then they start exploring the universe.
well, we've talked about this on the last podcast, and that was that thing I said with Darbro. You know, we've crossed that line where like you're actually going to have to wake up in the morning at some point and realize that you're not Joe the mechanic anymore. You know, your whole identity was wrapped around being that, and you're actually going to have to wake up and like yourself, and you're going to have to like what you choose to do that day, even if it's just fishing, because we're going to be able to wake up and say, I'm going to go fishing for 3 months, and I'm going to go fishing in every state. And it's not going to be seen as me being lazy. It's not going to be seen as me being a drain on society. Why aren't you earning, boy? You know, why are you just out there, enjoying the woods and stuff? And so Star Trek, and the Lane Banks author, he has a series called the Culture Series where this all happens. And humanity has evolved to the point, no disease, there's no money, there's no jobs necessary. And all they kind of do is go around looking for like evolving civilizations to either interact with them or not. Like the only purpose anymore for humanity is to find other civilizations that are still feudal or still capitalist or whatever, and kind of decide whether or not to interject this evolution. But that's their only thing they can do. That's the funny twist he does, because it's like, well, what's the purpose of that? You're going to evolve them out of this horrible lifestyle to yours, but what do you do?
Let me throw you a grenade in there, right?
There's a grenade right there. Grab it.
If you think about this,
Yeah.
Do you know the kind of personalities of people who are ultra, like at the very top of rich?
Yes.
Right. So
and just a lot of people don't know me. I kind of grew up with a lot of them.
Okay, so the reason that those people, like right now, there's Jeff Bezos,
Elon,
Elon Musk.
But nobody ever talks about the Middle Easterners.
Well, but that doesn't matter. Okay. Those people are the same as these people.
Yeah, it's a club.
They have an intrinsic need to win, to have the most, right?
Yeah, they're sociopaths.
Because a lot of people that get to a certain level stop trying.
Yeah, I'm gonna go play golf.
They go and they make $3 million, and that's all they're ever going to need for the rest of their life.
Yeah,
and they stop trying to earn more money. They're just like, okay, well, it's fine, because they've suddenly, like, it's not fun to them anymore.
Yeah.
And I mean by fun, something that fulfills you.
Yeah.
So like Elon is fulfilled by power. Right. So like his only real goal is to be powerful over whatever sector or whatever it is that he decides he wants to be powerful over.
So let's
But
stop.
when we talk about other people, and
I love how we're both doing this. That's the respect.
We talk about other people, like pro football player, right?
Yeah.
He goes and wins whatever, and he gets $25 million a year, and then he retires, and you don't see a lot of them going off on some, okay, now I'm going to build a giant capitalist business that rules the world. Not a lot of them.
That rules the world, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of them, they're like, oh, okay. A lot of them become like announcers on football because what they really love is football.
Yeah, but also leading up to their wealth and their freedom was a lot of physical damage. And so when they make that decision, they're kind of like, I just want to sit down. You know what I mean? I mean, they're just
yes, but I mean, I think that's the way it is for everyone. Like that as a normal, well-adjusted person in a way.
Yeah,
is that they're like, okay, well, I've got everything I need. Now I'm going to do what I want to do.
Okay, I'm with you, and yes, right. But I have to step in a little bit, and I'm nobody's fanboy, but I'm going to step in on the Elon thing for a little bit because he's indicative of a personality type of many of these people. So I'm not defending Elon Musk, but I'm going to just use him as the example, right?
He gets used a lot, so it's good.
Elon Musk is, you said power, okay? I think power is a symptom of what he's actually after. And Elon Musk, to me, is the type of guy who is never done. So when you have the football guy from pre-league, whatever, 8-year-old coach saying, hey, be the best you can be, earn, strive, be better every day. There is an end to that. And for most people in football, that end of that was the Super Bowl. Get that ring. Okay. And so for the entire narrative of their life, it's work your ass off, be better than the person you're about to level into the ground, and you're the one that hops up with the ball, right? And if you do that enough, and if you do that better and better each time, you get the better college, you get the bowl game, you get the NFL contract, you get the penthouse in Chicago, and then someday you're going to be riding to that Super Bowl. And I can't imagine that when you put that ring on your finger, you don't deflate a little bit.
Unless you are one of those people that's a little more crazy, not as well adjusted, like Tom Brady.
Yeah, right.
Right. Why did he keep playing?
Right.
You know, when
he had the stat game.
Right.
Like, he was so good that he actually had to get the pinnacle and beat Peyton on that stat game.
It took him a long time to get there.
Well,
right?
But he stuck around.
But like, he stuck around to win another Super Bowl though. At the end, he didn't need to go and play in Tampa. Right. He could have retired right then. No one would have questioned his legacy.
But he did retire, yes?
Yes.
And he's not doing a world-controlling organization, like you said, right?
No, he's a TV announcer because that's what he wants to do.
So we'll say that Tom Brady is...
Because if he didn't want to do it, he wouldn't be there. Like, he's totally,
Stay with me, Joe.
Yeah.
Stay with me. So we're saying that Tom Brady might be the penultimate example of that. He's got a goal to reach, and this is what it means to be the best in that. But now he's an announcer. Okay, cool.
Right.
But with Elon, this is a guy who isn't going to be there and probably won't ever be there. I mean, if he had habitations on Mars, and if he had, every human being, synced into not Skynet, to fucking
Starlink.
Starlink, thank you.
Which is Skynet.
Via Neuralink or
it's
whatever.
It's like he took the idea of Starlink and made it.
He's the kind of guy. He's the kind of guy. And again, I'm not a fanboy of his, but I identify with him a lot because I'm the weird one. I'm the one that there's never an end. Like, there's never going to come a point where I'm like, I've made enough. Now, I'll make enough and I'm be like, I'm good, right? And I'm not talking just money. I'm talking product, music, whatever. Like, I don't want there to be a precipice. I don't want there to be one of these moments because I watched my grandfather retire at 88. Went to 88.
Jeez.
And then he died, right? Mm-hmm. That classic yarn. Okay, so tell me why you hate Elon Musk and why you think he's just a power boy. Because it's an interesting type of hate.
Why I hate Elon Musk?
Yeah,
I don't hate Elon Musk.
Okay.
I think the thing about it is I find it hard to hate other human beings in general.
That's why you're a good guy.
Except for when they really hurt others.
Yeah.
And I think that Elon, when he hurts others, because he does, when he hurts others, it's not out of a place of malice. It's out of a place of he's just naive in his thoughts.
Or you're in his way.
Or you're in his way. He's naive in his thoughts. He's also a little bit out of touch with anybody who's anything like normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and how much of that do you think
he doesn't see the effects of what he's doing down the road. And so he does some of these things and they hurt a bunch of people across a swath of whatever. Like, he comes into a company and fires everybody. Right. Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of the time he doesn't see how bad it's going to actually hurt him in the end. And he ends up having to backtrack on a bunch of it, and it's because he's so short-sighted of things and he's so like self-absorbed and apparently no one can tell him, no, you shouldn't do that. This is a bad idea because of these reasons.
So I'm literally listening to my friend Joe Shelton. And for a brief moment there, I thought you were describing me. And this is what I mean by that. Okay.
Okay.
I think that Elon Musk is kind of like the musician who is tired of musicians fucking around him. Mm-hmm. And, I can't tell you how many rehearsals I went to where the first hour and a half were a bunch of dudes smoking a one-hitter and talking about fucking chicks or something. And I'm like, and I got to a point where I had to be really hardcore and be like, motherfuckers, okay? Or because, dude, I wasted 3 years of my life in a project one time just to get to a studio, just to try to get gigging and all of that, right? And the vast majority of that time... Okay. And so personally for me, I got to a point where I was just like, you're on the clock. Like that's how I looked at it. It's like, I'm here. I took 45-minute drive because all musicians are South Side and I'm North Side. Like every time I had to go there, it was like an hour of my life just to fucking get down there. And the last thing I want to do is sit around and listen to a bunch of fucking artistic musician bullshit drama. Okay. And so I identify with Elon Musk a lot because a lot of times the harshest, worst decision is better than that. And it's kind of the old thing, like any decision is better than no decision, right? And so I can just see him as somebody that's like, we'll fucking deal with the consequences later, but we got the rocket up. Like, the rocket's up. Like, you can't fault the rocket for not having been launched, right? And then I'll be quiet on Elon. But did you ever hear the story of when he fired the person, like, horribly, and then, like, the guy came back and, like, he got into the room and he was so nervous because Elon had, like, just leveled him, like, firing him, right? And Elon didn't even remember that he had fired the guy. That's what I'm getting at. Like, for him, I think it's all purpose, not power. I think it's purpose. Like, I think Elon is so jaded by humanity that he just wants everybody to stay the fuck away from him so he can get to Mars.
I mean, there's a little bit of that, but also I think there's you can never be that successful, which I would definitely say he is, without being a little power hungry.
Yeah, and sociopathic.
You know,
like, I mean,
yeah.
I think you have to really, you have to put purpose above humanity to do the stuff he's doing, unless the internet guys had won.
Well,
In a capitalistic model, yes, you have to be hardcore with that axe.
He also, like, the thing that he did in the last year that is ridiculous is that he bought an election, and then after he bought the election, he threw. Oh no, there's no way he wins without all that money.
Who, Trump?
Yeah,
Okay.
and all that money was mostly given to him by Elon Musk.
Do you think Biden would have won if them Florida things that they discovered or whatever hadn't been counted?
What's that?
See, that's why we're going to talk politics soon.
No, what did you say?
One of the vote counters in one of the real close states found that there was something like 180,000 votes for Biden that had been falsified or something like that. But whatever, it's politics. We're not going to get into that much of the mud of it.
I mean, the thing about the vote tallies that I've always thought is ridiculous is that they're actually tallied by a whole bunch of people in small little places all over the place.
I did it once.
And I worked in the polls for years.
Yeah.
Okay. And what I will say is no one can actually steal an election. They can, unless the thing happens to be so close that one little precinct can make a difference. There's no way. There's way too many people involved.
Our experiences in that world are so completely different because I actually once stole the Democratic voter name list from the DNC headquarters downtown for the Republican Party.
Well, you can do that stuff, I hear. But what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, every little place, like, there are a whole bunch of humans figuring out who voted for what.
Yeah, Gertie and Marjorie and Bob.
And part of that process is that, it may not be pure democracy, but it's still democracy.
I think that you have a very, very idealistic vision from your experience in it.
I mean, it's not idealistic. Well, I just, what I think is there's probably people cheating over here and there's probably people cheating over there, and but the whole thing in the end of the day is what we're trying to pick is the person that the most people wants to be in charge.
Oh, you think that's what we're doing?
That's what we're doing. That's the goal of an election.
I think that's what citizens want.
Right.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, I think that it kind of falls that way because of that.
So let's push the bear a little bit. Did you want Biden? Because you said it's to get the people that people want.
Yes, just because I wanted Trump gone.
Okay, so you have
I still want him gone. I don't know why anybody would want him.
Okay, but do you notice how instantly you went away from your side to Trump again? Let's focus on Biden. If you have a lunch meat tray and there's nothing on that fucking lunch meat tray that you want to eat, are you still eating it?
Yeah, because I'm hungry.
That might be the most philosophical comment I've had on the podcast so far. I just told you that there is nothing that you want, but you're still eating it because you're hungry. And I've never heard a better metaphor for politics in my life. Okay, so what obligation? Let's get deep into the politics thing now, because I actually was smiling last night that you and I would finally start getting political.
Okay.
Because I love you. Like,
most of the time I try to avoid it.
Exactly. And that's why I like that we're doing it formally. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
Because, how many times do you hear somebody outside say, fuck Trump, fuck Biden? Okay. But, like, I actually want to solve things with this podcast. How much of an obligation, left or right, do you think people have given up to actually do the pre-election work? So, like, I don't know anybody with an ounce of fucking sense that would have nominated either of these motherfuckers. Right?
I totally agree.
Okay. So then I, as an anarchist Irish twitchy fuck, I have to start going, why? Because, like, I know dudes that'll con the fucking socks off your grandma, right? So, like, I'm just seeing a big con. And it's like, okay, is it because they're so contentious and everybody's just going to fight themselves? Is it that, prosaic? Or do they actually want them because they've made secret deals and all this stuff? Nowhere in the consideration is that the American people saw these people as the greatest example of who they want to lead their fucking vision of the future. So how much do you blame us? Because it's so easy to blame everything else about the process. Have we given it up?
Oh, I don't think the process is at fault at all. I think that people get what they think they want. And there are a lot of people, I would say, that really like Trump. Like,
oh yeah, I know many.
And they like him for reasons that aren't really what he puts forth, which is really the strangest part of it to me.
Give me an example.
Well, like,
I'm shaking from the go-go juice already.
So there are people I know that really like Trump, and part of the reason that they really like him is because he allows a discourse that they feel has been missing, and that they want to be able to say.
And what's that discourse?
Things that are unpopular to the general populace. In terms of, like, 60% of the population would go, "Are you nuts? Why are you saying whatever that one thing is?"
You have given me nothing specific.
All of the things.
You have given me nothing
I don't want to
specific.
give
Who are you, Rachel Maddow?
So here's the thing. It isn't one specific thing.
But I need one. Because
okay.
you just made a very direct statement and accusation against the man, and I need an example. Like, I have to.
So he will say anything at any time about any whatever it is. I have no idea what he's
Every
going to say
politician that's ever been in front of a microphone.
No, not at all. What he will do is say anything, including things that are incredibly insulting, like directly incredibly insulting.
Like Piggy to the reporter or whatever.
Right. Not even like a sidelight of, like a lot of the time somebody's saying something very highfalutin that's kind of insulting.
Highfalutin is the
Right.
greatest word on the podcast to date.
But Trump, he speaks he goes out there and speaks in direct language, saying the most insulting thing he can say about whoever it is he's trying to insult.
You've known me a long time, right? Mm-hmm. Motherfucker.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So that directness. Okay. So
yes,
I think Trump's a pig. Okay.
Sure he is.
So, like, whatever, because a lot of people confuse me with being like a conservative. Okay. But I'm not. I'm an anarchist.
I've known that since the moment I met you.
Right. I just don't want any of y'all in my business. Like, I don't, and I don't want the ideologies. I don't want the Christian fucking moral majority. I don't want the hippie ass fucking whatever. It's like, if you want to die with heroin in your fucking eyeball, do it. And if you want to bend your knee to God, do it. Do you? Okay. So, I watch the fuckery, like the literal carnival level fuckery. And when you get so animated about it, and when you say, "Oh, Trump is such a buffoon," I'm like, well, what? Like,
I didn't say he was a buffoon.
So you think he's smart? Yeah.
I think he's very smart.
Like you said, you can't get to that level of power without being pretty motivated.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I think he was smarter 10 years ago than he is now. I think he's had you can obviously see that he's gotten into elderly, and he sometimes really, really rambles. And he used to ramble a little bit.
Yeah.
Now he's like your old uncle that's gotten so old that he just rambles.
I don't want this to be a Trump thing because Trump's all over fucking podcasts and all that, and it's so easy. But I have a little bit. This is why I'm wonky. Because I love guests on this podcast, and I like being a podcaster because I always come from just a slightly different angle on things. Mm-hmm. Everybody says these things about Trump. He says piggy this. He says, grab the whatever, the female genitalia. I mean, he's a pig. I mean, he legit is.
Yeah, I mean, he's just an asshole.
But but he's a New Yorker, right? And it goes back to the Elon Musk thing. He had to deal with shit that you and I couldn't even conceivably, the mafia and the unions of New York and the rich boys club and the poor boy construction club and the left American Teamster rah stuff, right? And so he is so inundated with just like I say, twitchy, this, and he just, I think personally got to a point where he was just like, and he just surrounded himself with the fixers and the doers and all of that. But here's the other thing. I noticed that change in Trump too. And this is what I always tell my lefter-leaning friends. They also tried to kill him twice. So when I see him having that hard edge nowadays, okay, and when I see him being a little less forgiving of people that are attacking him, I think he made a decision that I'm just gloves off now. And I'm going to say, fuck you, AP, fuck you, CNN, fuck you, this guy, because they tried to kill him twice. They tried to bankrupt him numerous times. They tried to put him in prison. And you're going to say, if I may be so bold, he deserved it because he's a crook. Okay, I get that. But everyone could go to jail. Look at what's coming out now about the Democratic Party and all these fucking scandals, which I wanted to get into with you. I am not an apologist for Trump. I just hate that anybody has to live that way. I hate that anybody has to actually be a doer and that somebody is doing for us. And the majority of what they're dealing with is fucking Carnival's Con stage show shit. I wish somebody could just pave a road, man. Right? And I know you're American country rural enough to appreciate that. Like, you want the machine shop to not go out of business.
So, that's the thing about Trump that I don't understand why anyone likes him. Because he doesn't do anything for anyone.
He's done really a lot for me, and I'm not a supporter.
I mean, he doesn't do anything for anyone. It whatever happens is because it just made him feel good today.
This is where you and I are going to.
It might be lucky that a certain person got something that helped them, or another person got something that hurt them.
Sure.
But with him, it's not about whether it was going to work or not. That is completely not on his radar. What's on his radar is, does this make me feel good today?
Okay.
I mean, which is a different, every other president that I've ever seen before him, and even after
because
him,
LBJ was such a fucking saint.
Well, no, I didn't say they were saints.
Okay.
But they had a thing that they were actually trying to do.
I think Trump has a very clear agenda of what he's trying to do to, in his opinion, fix America. Do we agree with it? Not, I don't know. But here's where I have to be a little serious with you, and that's why I love being with you, because I know that we can hack it. You were an offensive lineman. I was okay. We're tough. Okay. I'm into sci-fi too, so we're gonna do the whole we can go back in time thing. You just said he does nothing for anybody. I would love to talk to the mother of the person that the Venezuelan drug boat was getting ready to supply the fucking drugs to, if he had not blown it up. I would love to talk to the mother who still had her son or daughter. And we get so used to in America just living in a sick culture and saying, oh, look, 24 more people were shot in Chicago. It's just politics. What can you do? That's why I'm weird, is because I was saying with Darbro, everybody was pissed at Trump for saying the thing about Rob Reiner. He was killed by a drug-addicted son, and Sean Penn isn't blowing up Venezuelan drug boats, right? That's a serious conversation. Now, were those Venezuelan guys actually drug guys? We'll never know. But I'm pretty sure that the spooks and the satellites and the fucking SEAL guys and all that saw them putting stuff on there. Are we so acclimated to this fact that stuff hasn't changed for so many decades when it comes to actually solving problems, that we're more upset at a guy for blowing up a fucking murderer and a drug dealer responsible for the opioid epidemic, and transporting fentanyl, than we are about the motherfucker? They were like, how'd you shoot him twice? Nobody ever asked, why'd you shoot the Nazi twice in World War II, right? So you said, has Trump done anything? There's one.
Well, what I said was he didn't do anything for others.
But I just showed you an example.
But not really.
So those drugs didn't kill one person.
Okay, that may have helped that person by chance. Okay?
No, not by chance. Directed missile strike, as purposeful an event as can be done.
Yes, but he just wanted to look tough because he thought that would make him feel good today. So he said, "Kill whoever you want. I don't care."
How does it feel?
And then somebody that actually knew what to do was like, "Okay, well, these guys are a problem. Let's take care of it." It wasn't him. Okay, his whole facade is very light because he just wants to stay in charge.
He was he was the executive that ordered the missile strike after decades of nobody doing them. So he was responsible for it.
Decades of no missile strikes. What are you talking about?
Against like drug boats coming across the border.
Oh, I don't know that that's true.
Okay, but he did declare them terrorists, right? Do you think that was a good call?
I don't think anything's a terrorist, so I wouldn't declare anything that way. I think it's horrible.
See, Joe, this is why politics will never be fixed and we got to all become anarchists. Because that statement just dumbfounds me.
Why?
Say it again.
We are labeling people as terrorists, and that label doesn't mean anything.
What fits the term terrorist more than somebody who solely for profit and personal gain will poison entire communities into death?
I mean,
like, give me one that's worse than that.
Maniac.
Maniac.
He's a maniac. I don't know. They're crazy. They're, criminals. I mean, when we say terrorist, we're trying to evoke something.
Yeah, terror. Things that cause terror.
Yeah, but it's really easy to throw that label onto things and to make it bigger than it is.
And you don't think it applies at all to the cartels?
We had a war that lasted forever in Afghanistan and Iraq because we just labeled some people terrorists that weren't terrorists. Okay. So we should be really careful about whatever we are marking people as that we're going to attack.
Okay. Well, this is where I'll be your at least reputable friend. I believe them to be terrorists.
Okay.
This guy right here. I can find no clearer example of what any weird definition of the word terrorist would be than somebody who cuts heads off of people and throws them in the desert, who hangs people from bridges in Juarez and Mexico City, who take over entire communities and jungles and force them to farm cocaine and rape their children. I can think of no other better definition of a terrorist than somebody like a coyote who will smuggle people in vans in the desert and forget about them and let them all smother to death like Nazi Jew people in camps going to Dachau and Auschwitz. Okay, I would consider the cartels more terrorists than the Taliban.
I mean, that's why I don't like that term. I'm not saying that they're not horrible. Okay, they're horrific, and these things need to be worked on, and they always have had. They've been needed to work on my entire life. Okay, and to varying degrees, different people have tried and done different things, mostly ineffective to deal with cartels, mostly because people want to do drugs.
Well, and the CIA and the federal government was making money off of it.
If people want to do drugs and they're willing to pay for them, then you're going to have people buying them.
Yeah.
Then there will be people selling them.
Correct.
If there's people with any product that wants that there's a huge demand for,
immoral people will want to fill that market for it.
Exactly. Yeah. Because human nature again, back to our original
But I'm a human, and there's no part of me, legal or illegal, that would ever say I can make money selling fentanyl. There's no part of me that would do that.
That's because you have some moral stand in your
right.
Your being.
So why are you so quick to kind of explain away people with no morals?
I'm not explaining them away. Okay. What I'm saying is that in our political system, we have a tendency to throw these certain labels around and drop them onto things just for our own needs.
So what would you use to describe an organization like the MS-13, Mexican Mafia cartels? What label would you give them? Just bad guys?
I mean, they're just gangs.
So it's organized crime.
Is
that a better term?
That's what they are.
Okay. So is organized crime capable of great destruction?
Sure.
Are they capable of causing terror in people?
I guess.
See, you instantly went away from the terror one and just said, I guess. Yes or no? When Al Capone was pointing a Tommy gun at a guy's family, were they terrified?
Yeah, but if you're going to call that, then there's so many terrorists.
Exactly.
Like
yes.
Like I mean, if we're going to use that term, we can get like the guy that just robbed the bank yesterday. Yeah. That guy is a terrorist.
Can I shoot a missile at him? Because I don't like him. Like I don't like thieves. I don't like murderers. I don't like pedophiles. I don't like drug dealers. I don't like Talibans. I don't like anybody that is not a decent human being. So can we just make a leap as humanity, and instead of calling people criminals, call them dead?
Well, we're not going to kill everybody for every little crime that's committed.
Okay, but what about the big ones?
I don't think we should kill people for crimes.
Okay.
Okay.
So then again, can we separate cartels as criminals and call them terrorists so we can kill them?
At a certain level, there is self-defense where you have to kill people to keep them from killing you.
Correct.
And so in that case, yes, but that's, what I don't like about it is the taking of any label and just using it as a bludgeon for all political thought.
I don't like using anything to bludgeon political ideas into people.
Right. And that's where we've gotten on this track to where we ended up with someone like Trump, who you're right, no one would have picked, is that we picked people earlier that were that crossed lines that they shouldn't have crossed as leaders.
Nixon, Kennedy.
Yeah, and Bush and Cheney and Clinton, and so
Clinton was on my list with you, but like just the way you said Clinton makes me know you weren't a fan of him. So
I mean, sometimes I'm a fan of him.
Okay.
Okay.
What time is it? I saw you look, and I want to make sure.
It's 12:51. It wasn't about the time. It was about I got a message. There was I don't know who it was, called me. I was like,
I appreciate you.
You get like a number like on your call, and you're like, I don't know who the send that away.
Okay.
I don't know.
So we were getting like, if we were at like a dinner and we had gotten to the stage that we had gotten just a normal conversation, that's where I would have started to say, let's talk more about the kids and life, because it was getting there. But I did have a very, very specific topic I wanted to talk to you about. You strike me as that Midwest rural American working guy political. Like you lean more towards the Bruce Springsteen-y thing. Would that be sort of like you do support the unions and the working guy, you don't like the overall conservative corporate bullshit trickling down? Like
I very much support unions. Mostly because people need to be able to neutralize power.
Yeah.
Did
you ever hear the story of the coal mine where they put the Gatling guns off on the hill? It was like one of the first big strikes, and like all the coal miners were like, and they just mowed the entire camp. It's like, why is that not taught in high school?
Why isn't that called terrorism?
Right. Well, it is. Yeah, definitely. I mean, dude, absolutely. What were they called? The Pinkertons?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but the thing about it is that we had a whole political movement that was vastly anti-union, and that whole movement came out of rich people going, you know what, we need to make these people think that unions are bad.
And the same rich people that said we need to make people think that all of these illegal immigrants coming here aren't illegal, they're undocumented, so they'll stay in the crops and like harvest the stuff, and we can shave $20 off.
And the odd thing is that like for that whole thing, that we got somebody that was so offensive that they were able to make people who wouldn't have really supported that support it just because they wanted to oppose him.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I did. But
they're
very
people,
good at...
people don't really think that it's okay to have people here illegally and not doing their paperwork.
Well, and again,
it doesn't matter if they're the farthest left person.
Sure.
They really don't believe that.
I believe the majority of people don't want anybody to live in a way that's just the worst way to live, right? Like we all
we don't want them to be here undocumented. But what's happened is that you've had a series of people who say they're against illegals while being absolutely for having illegal people work for them.
Yeah, the Shim Sham show.
because they're trying to create a way to have some slavery going on.
Well,
and
the thing I love about talking politics with people is that it just constantly reaffirms my decision that I'm an anarchist, right? It's like you said this thing about how, like, you know, you can shoot somebody in self-defense, right? And thank God, right? But I mean, yeah, but to me, I watch, right? And there is like this hourglass funneling. And what that does, that statement, you know, it's not okay to kill a criminal this way, but if it's in self-defense. What I see is this tic-tacking hyper-microscopic justification for murder, whereas, like, if he was at a certain angle and his gun was pointed towards the window, and then you shot him because you weren't Chuck fucking Norris with, like, 0.4 second nano reflex to be like, oh, it's murder now. Right? Oh, this was good. Blah! Right? I mean, of course a dude's gonna turn to run away from you if you're gonna fucking kill him in self-defense, right? But then there's people in jail for 20 fucking years for that shit. And it's like, that's why I can't handle politics, and in particular politics that doesn't make sense, right? If some guy's in my house and he doesn't have an invitation, and the cop comes and sees him dead on the floor, I want to live in a society where, like, I'm ethical enough in the community and the cop's ethical enough where I can say, dude, have you ever seen Deadwood?
Yes.
Remember when
I've seen a couple episodes.
Did you see the one where Hickok shot the dude in the bar? And he goes, he meant me harm. And everybody's like, okay. So, but what I'm saying is that if you do that, which seems kind of like idealistic and actually quite noble, you know, all of these kind of like things that justify really bad parts of human nature, you get to a point where good people suffer more. You know, if it's not okay to blow up a Venezuelan drug boat, you got a lot of fucking funerals in small town churches, you know?
Well, here's the thing. Venezuelan drug boats is a great example for me. Okay.
Do it.
I don't see that as a story. Okay.
Explain.
Like, so we have forever taken care of little things like that and not made them a story.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
So the
because to
shadowy-
me it's a little thing. Like, there's a drug boat over here and they're threatening some people, and the people that are supposed to protect them, which is like us, because we're the world's police for whatever reason. We are like, okay, you're not doing this anymore, and we take them down. This has happened forever
Unleash
around the world.
clandestine hounds.
Right.
Yeah.
But now we have to use it as some kind of a political win. So somebody threw it out there as, oh, look what we did. And then these other people have to oppose it because it's like a political football that's been tossed into the middle of the fray.
If I have
and
you
for
correct,
me, it's just not even a story.
if I have you correct, and correct me if I'm wrong, which I know you will, you're cool with killing drug dealers as long as it doesn't become a political issue.
I mean, you know, I think that if there are people committing crimes and they're going to, you know, pull out weapons, then they're going to get fired upon by police. That is pretty much the way it works. Like, a lot of the criminals that, you know, end up basically committing suicide are doing it by attacking police.
Of course.
Because they would rather be shot by police than go to jail.
But Joe, they were just driving a boat.
Yeah, they would rather be shot than go back to wherever they were, because it isn't a better place to be.
Exactly, which is why I'm a believer in humanity, right? Like, I'm American second, and quite frankly, ever since, like, Obama, not because of Obama, but just because of the zeitgeist of the country, and you know, I'm not saying, like, I'm not even going to bring Obama, but I'm just saying from that era, Republican and left, to now, I kind of stopped doing the. You know, I used to be Johnny Patriot, you know, I really was. But I just think it's gone now, like, completely. I was going to say something, but I forget it. So, okay, so let me get you on a specific topic.
And yes, I love Obama.
Did you?
Twice. I voted for him, and I would vote for him now.
Why did you feel compelled to tell me that?
Obama...
Because you notice I said I'm not going to talk about Obama.
You're not.
But you were talking about holding things up like prizes for political things. Yeah. And I just, like again, I always love my friends, but I got to stop them when I hear shit like that, because you could have just let it go, man.
I could have.
Yeah.
But I like, the thing is that Obama is a person that I can see as a leader, and whoever the president is should be a leader.
Even if it's smoke and mirrors?
I mean, if you think any president is perfect, you're wrong. I can go and find every one of them, and I can go and pick them to pieces.
I subscribe to Utah Phillips, the rail riding folk singer from back in the day that Ani DeFranco did an album with. He said, if the president of the United States wakes up in the middle of the fucking night to take a piss, something somewhere in the world goes horribly fucking wrong. So
yes.
I don't think.
I mean, that you know, whether they do everything right or not, and whether we can, you know, pick a laundry list of things that they did great and a laundry list of shit that they fucked up, that's probably going to be the case, no matter which one I grab.
Which orbits back to Elon making those decisions and then worrying about it afterwards, because you just said basically
that's why I said I don't hate Elon.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just
the thing is, I don't like a lot of things that Elon's done because I think they're just short-sighted. You know,
like planning human colonization to Mars.
Well, I mean, short-sighted in that, like, he comes into the U.S. aid office and closes the entire thing. Okay, this is short-sighted because he didn't see the short-term effect of that. In the long term, that may have been actually a really good thing for our country. Okay, but in the short term, it's really not. And so, like, going and doing these things just because you're like, okay, well, I don't think we need that anymore. We should get rid of that. And it'll, you know, out here in the distant future, that'll be really great. But in the short term, what it does is it takes away a lot of our political power around the world and makes it very, very difficult for us to do those enforcement things like taking out the Venezuelans.
With the state of the rest of the world right now, you'd have to do a lot more than that to take away America's influence around the fucking world, dude. The rest of the world is a fucking horror show and it's collapsing, right? So let me throw the topic that I was gonna, and then we can keep.
Okay, but
I heard you.
Let me get back to one thing on Obama as a leader. Okay, and by a leader, he's like my idea of a leader. People that can actually stand up there and say, "Here's my things.
Yeah.
Either be with me or not.
Yeah,
I'm leading this."
Okay, we're gonna do Obama now. Okay. Because remember, I'm an anarchist. So I don't give a fuck. Just as a human being and an observer, I'd like to think a well-read, highly educated, and investigative observer. Everything that you just said about Obama, I completely disagree with.
Okay.
But not from a Republican slant. So I want to almost inoculate myself, okay? Because I'm not coming at this from like, okay. He was, in my opinion, one of the cockiest, elevated to a position outside of his ability, divisive human beings I've ever met. And I go by the smell test, right? I'm a musician. You know, I walk into a bar and there's a dude right next to me, and in 5 seconds I know he's a fucking cocksucker. Okay? That guy, for me, Sietch, just emanated contempt, con man, piece of shit, wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire. And every word that came out of his mouth was narcissistic and directed towards him. He was self-promoting, sociopathic, narcissistic tendencies. That's just me telling you what I think of him as a man, okay? I haven't even touched politics, okay? So the fact that you say he's a leader, I'm literally sitting here and I'm thinking I wouldn't have followed that guy into a fucking free buffet. And I love that disconnect because right now somebody's thinking I'm a MAGA motherfucker. But I'm just saying that if I saw that guy on the street, I'd avoid him. Like, right? So, how does somebody
I don't understand how you would see him as a narcissist.
They did a study of his speeches, and more so than any other public speaker within like record, he used I and me more times than any other person. And if you're a leader, you don't do that. And so I go to facts and stats and shit, and I loved that stat because a leader says we.
Do you not think he said we?
I think he said we a hell of a lot less than me and I and Michelle and I and all this bullshit.
I mean, I don't know about that. For me, when he would speak and when he still speaks, he speaks for all of the people that have similar beliefs to his, which is a middle of the road philosophy.
Yeah, and then to the other people, he called them, gun clinging. So you say he was a leader and a uniter.
I mean, they were.
Okay, so for you,
like,
it's acceptable for a leader to completely just insult a segment of the population.
But I don't think that's an insult.
Gun clinger.
No, why is that an insult?
I'm not even going to go there, because if you can't spot why, it's not my job to show you why. Sort of a thing,
But what I'm saying is, I might cling to my gun, okay, and I don't think that it's a bad thing. Okay. Like maybe I do. maybe it makes me feel.
So what
safe.
Is Obama your fucking therapist now? Like,
no.
I mean, like he has to say you're a gun clinger. Maybe I do cling to my gun. I never knew about it before fucking Prophet Obama came around.
But one word that's said does not equal everything.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to research it, but I mean, there's hundreds of times where he just completely alienated complete segments of society.
I mean, as do every politician.
And you just deflected. We're not talking about other politicians.
Okay.
You asked my opinion of Obama.
Did he say things that...
hold on one second. I want to make sure that didn't cancel the audio. Okay, remember I told you it happened last time? Are we still going? We're still going, buddy. All right.
Good. We're safe.
But see, this is the warmth, because look at what we're talking about. Most people by now would have been fucking screaming.
No, I'm not.
Hey, Joe, we're back. I'll put a commercial or something. I'll just invent twitchy snacks and make a...
So, we're going to talk about the one person, okay?
Yeah. And remember, I wanted to talk about a specific topic, but now we're on Obama.
Here's what I can say about Obama.
Go for it.
There were days when I shouted at the TV that I hated what he was doing.
Yeah. Like what? Okay. Like an example.
I think that he should have laid everything on the line, if you're going to lay it on the line, to change the healthcare system, to actually change the healthcare system.
Like not try to incorporate and work with the existing
not try and work with
single payer, baby.
Not work with Republicans who are not really supporting you anyway. And come up with a compromise, and then go, oh, this compromise is way far to the left. It's like, no, that his whole position was a compromise to start.
You didn't want sausage, you wanted a steak.
Right.
You didn't
want if we're gonna do something, do something. If you're not, leave it alone.
But see, you said if we're gonna do something in a bipartisan.
No, I mean us as a society.
But again, isn't that the problem with politics?
If we're gonna change something and try something new, then let's actually try something new.
But that seems really dangerous, man. Like, I mean, you're talking about completely getting rid of the system that is meant to maintain the life and health of every citizen of this country. Let's experiment with it and do it.
We already experimented with it. We created Medicare, and it's worked very, 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 very well. And all we have to do is expand that to be everyone's system.
Okay.
And then we've solved that at least a little bit.
I'm going to surprise you, Joe. As an anarchist and as sort of like a Spartan, I have love for my community. And I actually think to be an anarchist, you have to actually think better of your fellow humans than most people that are political. Like, you actually have to have faith that you can get along with and like hash out disagreements with people. If there's no third-party arbiter saying, that's wrong and that's illegal and you can't say the word, sort of thing, right? It's like, shut up, Bob. Like, let's fucking stop throwing your fucking diesel on my yard. Like, and then like another guy comes and goes like, guys, you're getting a little testy. Like, I think human beings are capable of that without government at all. But, shit, why did I jump in? Oh, healthcare. I believe the only use of government is defense and health. And I, as a Spartan 2,000 years ago, or I, as some wild guy that swore my life to the king, would have expected a fucking steak in my fridge every day. Like, it's not my job to just have to exist to get corn. Right? I'm killing for you, motherfucker. Like, I'm loyal to you. And so, like, I personally would love it if every grocery store and every hospital were nationalized. Me saying that, somebody right now is going, Che Guevara, Cuba, Mao Zedong, Vladimir Putin, right? But why do you want your Americans to be hungry and dead? Asshole. Right? I mean, you've got 3 boats, 4 vacation houses. Your kids all got college funds. how can you justify the majority of Americans like going bankrupt or dying from healthcare and food?
And
like,
you've heard a couple of things out of me that would say that I'm very far left. That I think that we should have one healthcare system run by our government. I do,
and I just agree with you.
And what I'm saying is that isn't a far left thing.
Right.
I guarantee that it's not. Like,
It's an anarchist thing.
tearing up Bernie Sanders because he's so far left. Well, the only thing that was really left on was that.
No.
I mean, so the thing about Bernie Sanders that I didn't like is that he tried to claim he was an independent.
The thing I didn't like about Bernie Sanders is the motherfucker never had a job that wasn't fucking in politics, and he made all this fucking money, and everybody thought he was a fucking champ, and the only university that his family created went under from fucking scandal and oh, wait a minute.
Well, but that's not what most people think. Most
I know,
people just think he is a far left nutcase. And I'm like, no, he wants single payer health care.
No, he's a far left nutcase, Joe.
He might be.
Okay, just like Trump's a far right fucking idiot piggy.
I mean, he might be. I didn't vote for Sanders. So, but like when you take the most people, what I would say is they think that he's a far left socialist because he wants single payer health care. Because that's the thing he says the most about anything whenever he's on any program, right? And that's just not why he would be a far left person.
It's the only thing that he says that I could talk to him about.
Sure, but that's why he uses it, because he knows that everybody agrees.
No.
Like, the truth is, I bet you can get 80% to agree to it if it's just that in a vacuum.
I think Americans in particular, but people as a whole, are just so tired of always being an inch away from catastrophe.
And it's because of healthcare.
Right.
Like, you get beat down by your insurance company or whoever just a couple times, and you're like, fuck these people.
Right. Yeah. No, and totally. And it's such a punk as fuck anarchist way of looking at it. It's like when that Luigi guy or whatever, I ain't supporting murder or anything, but okay. So but like,
I mean, I'm not supportive of that at all, because that is, while a little bit of anarchy does make changes, that is, to me, you're fighting the wrong battle, kid.
Yeah. Well, then you got Charlie Kirk's head popping off, and you're kind of like, people like, it's like I said to Darbro, I wish all these loving, caring, anti-gun leftists would stop shooting fucking people, right? So, but
except that it's not. It's usually the far right guy that shoots the right people on the right, and I don't understand why.
Yeah. Okay, so let me throw the topic out, since we kind of did the Obama and Sanders thing real quick. Like, okay, the one of the big things I wanted to talk to you about politically was the notion of corruption. Okay, and so we've got this whole Somali thing just blowing up. Okay, and we found out that Gavin Newsom's California was fraudulently misusing $59 billion worth of federal taxpayer money and all of that stuff.
Well,
and
we don't know that, though. What we have is an accusation by the far right.
I have no
news
evidence.
Media.
I have no evidence, and I know it's true. Okay. and I'm lucky, because I'm not a journalist.
The problem that I have is that there is probably, in most cases, when it has to do with a government, whether it's a state governor or federal government, there's probably some actual real story in there that is
conflated.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but let me dial in, because that wasn't going to be the topic. The topic is this: is it the new normal that corruption is now kind of, to me, it seems the only way to get to a different level in our economy? And this is what I mean by that. Like, the Black Lives Matters chairperson that was found to just be completely robbing that organization blind. Okay. The right-wing organizations that go all the way back to the televangelist preachers from the 80s and 90s that you and I grew up with, the Swaggarts and all that. And
absolute con artists, those people,
right? But
they go on TV like
Tammy Faye.
The thing is, it is so obvious that they're shysters, but like, so many people still send them money, and I'm just like, okay, well, a fool and his money is soon parted, I guess.
Man, I'm not going to tell anybody how to spend their money. Like,
do you not honestly see that this person is nothing but a shyster?
But let me dial in. Having traveled the world a little bit more than your average American from the time I was 14, but not that's whatever. But like, I'm kind of convinced, just by observation, that the entire world economy now is so unshackled and so unkind of moderated that every single important source of any real capital has to come from either some sort of a scandalous or corrupt or whatever source. Okay. And I'm not talking just, ooh, banks are awful and they fuck people over, but I got to go get a loan. I'm saying that I don't think there is enough income being generated from non-corrupt criminal ways to actually keep your average American in like a middle-class lifestyle. It seems to me, especially in politics, that everything is being funneled from corruption. I understand Roman senators were corrupt. I understand this isn't a new thing. But it seems to me that everything is now. And there is absolutely no pushback from it. There's no shame. There's nobody standing up going, wait, what the fuck? When I heard that there was $8 billion in fraud in Minnesota, why didn't we all just go, stop? What the fuck is that? And what's going to happen to them? I mean, are we as Americans just so deadened to it?
It's really tough when there's so much corruption in our federal government from the start of 2025, from 2016 to 2020, that we have, like, it's so pervasive, and in every it's like they're trying to be corrupt on every front just to see if they can set a record.
Got to stop you because you instantly went partisan. I mean, the corruption.
That's not partisan. That's just truth.
Well, but you said it.
I just went factual. Okay? Like Biden was nowhere near, not even in the same league. He couldn't even think up the shit.
Are you literally taking your hand and shoving it up my ass right now? No. That dude, in the last like month and a half of his administration,
he didn't do anything his entire administration.
Shipped out tens of billions of dollars to organizations that were like headed by his cronies and his benefactors and his buddies and shit, man. Like that's why it's difficult for me to talk to you, because I love you to death and I think your opinions are valid and I don't fault you for having a different opinion of me. But the fact that you said Biden didn't do anything close to Trump, is it just that you don't go to places where you know that happened? Like I want to look it up on Google, but like the amount of money
here's the thing, okay? Like, and I think I kind of said this already.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't expect that there was some level of corruption in every one of them, and you're right on that score.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, there's a motherfucker over here that's trying to set a record, and we're worried about the small potatoes of whatever happened in the last administration.
You know what we got? You know what we got to do? Because that is the first time that you talked to me where I kind of tuned out. Okay, I just told you it was tens of billions, and you had to throw in small potatoes.
That is small potatoes in our economy.
And you just said Trump is setting a record. So what I want to do is I actually want, in our free time after this podcast or whatever,
sure,
just between us,
yeah,
I want us to like actually go to like legit sources and see what the sort of like, professionally understood amount of graft and corruption and bullshit money that on either side, and then we'll have coffee and laugh.
As a percentage of GDP.
Why do you got to put a fucking like label on it? Why can't it just be money going to places it shouldn't have gone to?
Well, because the total matters. Okay, there's
the total amount of fucking money
GDP
that goes
is
to
trillions of dollars, and 10 billion is nothing.
Dude, there ain't no GDP cap for fucking being a piece of shit. Like what I'm saying is let's just track money that went to places that were fucking corrupt.
Sure.
Not compared to GDP, like not compared to the mafia's death count. Well, like just. Like people
okay, we can do that. I'm just saying that, like, what I was saying is that it's small potatoes as part of what money we have.
Okay, so I shouldn't feel so bad if somebody mugs me for the $5 in my pocket.
I would feel a lot worse if they mugged me for $100,000.
That's the second thing that you said.
I mean, yes, I wouldn't like the crime if they took $5 from me. Okay, even if it was just $5. But I would feel way worse if they emptied my bank account. Okay, so there's a difference between that for me.
I'd be dead.
If they emptied your bank account, you'd be dead. Or
no, if they tried to rob me.
If they tried to rob you of $5,
I'd be dead, or they would be.
Well, I mean, possibly.
No.
I mean,
Okay, so anyway, all right, so let's dial into Somalia because I've been to Minneapolis, okay, and as my friend who I love and adore, and we have history and all of this stuff. You know what? I think the Somalian thing's been done enough. Let's avoid it.
I mean, I don't even have a problem with that at all.
Okay, let's go back to something fun. See, just this conversation to the podcasters. Let's have a quick fourth wall break, right? I was actually really concerned last night. So let's talk about friendship next. I was really concerned because in my experience as a human being, I have felt so sad that I cannot talk about serious things with people without anger. And I've always, everybody thinks, oh, Sietch is the big, rough, tumble, bearded motherfucker. But like legit,
I think you're a softie.
I'm a softie. I really am.
I think you are.
Dude, I've gone. Well, I'm not even gonna, right? So, like, by the way, if you do charitable things, don't put your fucking name on it. Like, and if you're gonna send a check to a charitable organization, make it anonymous. Like, I'm so tired of these influencers. Like, oh, are you homeless, man? Look, the community made a loaf of bread for you. You fucking narcissist! Get off your camera and just help the fucking guy.
Let me tell you a little thing. You'll love this if
Okay.
if you feel that way.
Yeah.
Like, you ever go to like Taco Bell or McDonald's?
Oh yes.
And they ask you if you want to round up for whatever charity it is today.
I bought a Christmas gift where they automatically did it, and I saw it on the receipt, and I said, "Take that shit off my receipt."
Well, see, for me, the thing is that while I would be perfectly fine with giving to whatever charity it is that McDonald's wants me to give
The
to.
extortion.
Right. No, it's not the extortion. It's the fact that the only reason they do that is so that they can take it off their taxes. It's like I'm paying for them to have a tax break. But if I would just go ahead and donate the money, then I would get the tax break.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So
not only are you giving the brand free advertising by having their logo on your fucking cap, you're giving them a tax break.
I'm giving you a tax break?
Yeah.
Like, screw you. I'm not giving you a tax break.
The
It's not
consumer.
about the charity at that point. It's about the fact that you are just trying to shave off money from your taxes because you don't really care about this charity. If they didn't take it out of your taxes, you would immediately stop collecting for it.
The only thing comparable to organized crime and the modern mafia, and dude, I've seen the mafia in Albania, I've seen the mafia in Africa, I've seen fucking Russian mob, fucking whatever mob. Okay. The only thing comparable to the mafia is the American charity scammers. The amount of fucking money, right? And maybe some of the churches too, but like legit, yes. Like, I love that you think that way because I would sooner throw money into a fucking bowl of my dog's shit
than pay for them to have a tax break.
Than to click do you just believe us that we're going to save puppies?
Right.
Oh, yeah, $1 for the puppies.
I mean, I don't even care. Like, that part of it, yes, they might be not even actually sending it there. That part could be true as well. Yeah. But the even if they are sending the money to the charity, it's absolutely a scam because they're just trying to save on their taxes.
Yeah. Because we're musicians. Because we're musicians. I had a real interesting talk with. That's gonna be bless you. That's the second podcast where I've had to do a bless you live on the thing.
I like it.
It's cute, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. So I knew a musician that was on the fringe of what would be kind of seen as like an American lifestyle. Was that ambiguous enough?
An American lifestyle?
They had a very fringe lifestyle.
So they lived in like a van, or
I'm not going to go into specifics because I don't want to.
I don't mean specifics. I mean, I'm just saying that like van life is a thing.
No, not like isolated. What I mean is that their way of living was kind of not the highest percentile. It'd probably be like the 2%.
So they were poor.
No.
Okay.
Jesus, you gotta just trust me. Like the person I'm about to talk to, most people would kind of say, "Wow, that person has kind of like a fringe lifestyle."
Okay.
And they tried to convince me of all these things, and I actually started asking questions because I wanted to know why they lived the way they lived. Okay, I'm really trying to be ambiguous. And after a certain point, they started yelling even at me, and they said, "Well, you're kind of privileged, white man, sort of a thing." And I said, "Stop." I said, "Ain't nobody gonna tell me I've ever had an easy fucking privileged life, person." And I said, "Your problem is this: nobody cares anymore. Like all you are is a person now." That like corporations can say we support this demographic so you'll feel safe going into their fucking place. and spending your fucking money, and they don't give a fuck about you. Like, they don't give a legit fuck about you. Their commercials might look like they do, and their fucking ad campaigns might look like they do, but they couldn't give one iota about you. And I said, your problem is that you won. Like, nobody cares. Like, nobody cares anymore. You know, it's the same thing as kind of like when the civil rights movement kind of had reached a plateau, and it just started to kind of, a lot of organizations just started, sort of like suing to sue, as opposed to there legit being like a serious event of, documented racism or something. And those people always come along.
I think the problem with that, with the movements in general, there is that they don't understand how much they undermine themselves when they take on something that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, so like a few years ago when George Floyd happened, and I 100% supported all of the protests that could happen, because that shit needs to stop.
Okay, you're on record now. Good job.
Okay. You cannot go and like just strangle people or whatever in the streets. Okay. That's not acceptable for a cop to do that. And everybody should be absolutely incensed. And I think they were.
You know how big a fan of the legal system and law enforcement I am, Joe.
Yes. So, so that's easy to support. But then you take that thing that you have where you've actually made support from a lot of people, and you go, we should get reparations for the people that were enslaved 150 years ago. Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Now, what you've done then is just step into a place that has nothing to do with the current.
And you've destroyed the chance to affect change now by introducing something that's never going to happen.
Because what you've done is alienate a bunch of people who were on your side.
Yeah, it's like you were one paint stroke away from painting a masterpiece, and then you decided to add a fucking UFO. It's like the Mona Lisa with a UFO.
What are you talking about? Like, and it doesn't mean that I don't think that people have been disadvantaged due to their race or their station or wherever they were born or whatever it is.
If you ain't a billionaire on Billionaires Row, you're disadvantaged.
Right.
I hate to break it to people.
But I mean, and there's different levels of advantage as you've grown up with parents that are better than other parents or whatnot, right?
We all got our cross to bear.
Right. And some of them have way worse, and I'm not going to even talk about how bad it is. Some of them are really bad, right? But you can't just go and say, hey, a whole class of people needs to just get some money because a whole long time ago we had that's ridiculous.
Well, it's not just ridiculous, it's blatant opportunism. And so, I see people like that, black, white, whatever. I mean, whatever the special interest is, I see them as the hyena that's not the alpha snipping in to grab meat off the bone. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, I am, at a disadvantage a lot because of my size, right?
Why?
And I'm discriminated against all the time because of my size. What's
wrong with your size?
So I'm a really big guy, right? So
you are?
Everywhere that I go, the everything is made for people that are tiny.
Of course. Yeah. Like your shoes. Okay. Like you're a 14, right? He could hardly get up the stairs because
I'm only able to use about a half of the stair. I mean, I use the whole stair. About half of my foot fits on a stair.
You are such an impressive presence that I actually never even once thought that it was going to be your fucking shoes that were the problem. Right?
Yes, it is. And so, like, everywhere that I go, there's something discriminating against my size.
Is it discrimination or is it just a statistical analysis? Like, people don't think that it's
still discriminating. I mean,
yeah. Well, I would call it exclusionary because it's not like they're actively saying fuck big people.
Well, they sort of are. Think about this: McDonald's. Okay, again, I'll go back to them. Okay. McDonald's wants big people, I would think, to show up at their store because those are the people that probably eat most of their food.
Is that why they have the troughs?
Well, I don't know, but what they do,
I had to do
what they do have when you go into McDonald's are chairs that are attached to tables that are on like a little swivel, and they're like 6 to 8 inches from the table.
Yeah, I hate sitting on a McDonald's fucking chair.
Okay, so like they don't fit anybody except a child, and of course you may want children in there, but if you don't have adults with them, the children don't have a goddamn cent to spend.
Do you like your friend Sietch?
Yeah,
that's intentional. They designed the chairs like that so you'll eat your food and get out quicker, so more people can inhabit the store.
But there's nobody in the store now.
Well, but there used to be. Yeah. Why redesign it just because?
Yeah.
Okay. So no. Yeah, I get it, man. And of course. I mean,
and people are bigger than that now. like than they've ever been, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, in America.
Right. And you're just discriminating against everybody that's not skinny. You know?
I'm not disagreeing with you, Joe, but what I'm saying is I think that you and I probably just have a different understand or a different idea of what that word means. And so, I mean, I definitely think that you are disadvantaged and that you are not considered as often as the masses. But I just see it as a statistical thing. I mean,
well, think about this, Sietch. Like, you are a considerate person. I come here to do this. You give me a big lounge chair to sit in.
Well, of course.
You could have given me a little tiny like kitchen chair.
Wait, are you saying that I'm a lot more considerate than a large global international conglomerate that only wants to stuff fake food into orifices?
Doesn't this completely make the point, though? Right?
Well, that's why I say if it's
like
just...
you, like that company could give a fuck about you. Yes, you are completely correct, and I agree with you.
I have to default to the anarchist, man. And thank you for that statement, but that's what I mean about two people being able to hash stuff out. I didn't even think twice about not considering that you might have a little bit of a extra need to be comfortable during the podcast. So I dragged that big ass fucking chair there because you're my guest.
Right.
That's just called being decent, man. Like, you know, it's not like an extra special gesture or something. And so, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, all these additional layers to just simple human contact and connection and all of that, it gets so fucking blurred and muddy and corrupted and evil. And, you know, it's like, I mean, I can't. Like, I can't exist in a world like that anymore where everything is just antagonism. Like, I want us to break the antagonism.
I agree.
And if we got to hurt the antagonizers so that we can all just have a cup of coffee and laugh, like, let's hurt them. Or let's just, like, dismiss them. Or let's depower them. But we're just so comfortable. We're just so goddamn comfortable.
I mean, do you feel like, you know, the something you talked about earlier that it's really like it keeps weighing in my brain a little bit.
Uh-oh.
You're talking about, you know, bands, and that you have had a practice where like they spend a bunch of time like
pure fuckery,
right,
for hours.
So here's the thing. Like, you know, with my band, I know exactly, we have a tendency whenever we actually practice together to talk about all kinds of other artists, bands, music, whatever it is, and spend
opposition research,
and probably spend most of our practice time in some kind of chatter about that.
Sure.
Like, you know, we might talk about like Chicago, right? We might get on that tangent and go, sure. Hey, I want to talk about, you know, I was listening to this yesterday.
And I'm not saying that a band rehearsal...
This is actually specifically something that actually happened.
Yeah,
right?
but I'm not saying a band rehearsal should be like a choir. It should be like slapping you with a ruler or something.
I know, but like, I can understand like how that frustration can manifest if you're someone who's like, I want us to get better today, and we're not getting better by just hanging out. You know, like we're not necessarily improving at all right now.
Dude, I'm
like,
all about fun, right? Like I'm all about fun, but when I clock on, I'm making my fucking quota, you know? And you know, that's why, like, I think some people have compared me to Zappa. You know, it's like, you know, I'm weird, but like when it's, you know, my weirdness manifests itself with this. And
well, dude, the thing that, like, you know, has always impressed me about you as I know how much practice you must put in as a guitar player, because I play guitar and I completely understand.
But I'm not always Instagramming it. This is
you have to. Well, that's okay. I mean, you know, if you want to, you do, great. Sure. But the thing about it is that, you know, when I see somebody that plays at your level, I think, oh my God, that's a lot of practice. Like, cause I know how much I put in and I'm not nearly that good, you know? and I look at it and I go, that's an incredible amount of work. Like, and that's just, you know, so that respect comes out. Like,
but it's the same as a carpenter. You see a great chair. If you're someone who's
never played though.
Yeah.
Like you never played a guitar and you think, oh, they're just up there playing around. And they, you know, and they're, you know, and they don't respect how much work it is that, you know, well, they, you know, venue owner, I can't believe you want $300 for 2 hours. Yeah. And it's like, that's $150 an hour. It's like, no, it's not. It's about 2 cents an hour.
Yeah.
Because I had to practice like so long to get to this
let's
amount
even
of
take
good.
let's even take the practice out, okay?
Right.
Like let's get to just loading the truck. I mean, there's
Loading
an hour.
the truck, taking all your shit there, like doing all like there's many hours for a gig, right? And there's many hours of practice that had to happen for you to be able to play those songs at any kind of level that people didn't want to walk out of the room for.
I drove 3 hours to Effingham, Illinois, with my wife. Played 3.5 hours. Loaded up or set up beforehand, tore down afterwards. Okay, drove 3 hours back that night. Did you do the math? What are we looking at there?
10 hours or so.
I got 220.
Yeah. Yeah. $2.20 an hour. Good job.
And I played it, not an hour, for the gig. Yeah. So I see what you did. Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you, man. But you know,
you were really overpaid at that $2.20 an hour.
But we played it because we loved the venue, and we played it because the audience there supported us.
I mean,
I wouldn't have done it for a first gig.
That's the thing about me playing. You know, there are years where I really play a lot, and I really tour.
I remember that one year, man. I couldn't go a day without seeing your fucking ass on the road.
For 3 years, I played over 220 nights.
Well, and I think that's one of the things that united us, you know, because we just looked at each other, and it's like, oh, you've been to that alleyway? Fuck. You know, you've been there at 4 o'clock going, am I making it to... Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've just, the thing about it is that it's kind of like my therapy, you know, like going out and meeting people. I'm an extrovert who like sucks energy out of everyone.
Okay.
Like everyone I come in contact with, I take their energy and it becomes part of me.
So you're an incubus.
Yes.
Very nice.
But when I get to the point where I'm completely full, I don't want to be near anybody.
Well, when you're completely full, I don't think anybody wants to be near you for what might be happening soon.
I mean, I'm just.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Hey, Joe, I got to take a leak. What we're going to do at this point is I want you to look at the audience and give them kind of like, this is what Joe Shelton's up to for the next like year or something like that. Kind of do your thing, and I'll be right back. All right.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, no, just do the thing. You know.
I mean, hi audience. The thing is that my podcast is called Moonshine and Music, and I'm going to be working on it definitely this year. I've been working on it this year as well. We had 32 episodes, and Moonshine and Music is all about songwriters. So for the most part, we interview songwriters and we have them play their music. We do special events. We have something called the National Road Music Series. It is at the H.J. Ricks Center for the Arts in Greenfield, Indiana. And next year we'll have 6 shows. There'll be generally 3 artists per show, whether they're solo or bands or duos or whatever configuration. And people come, it's a nice old-timey theater. It's a great place to watch a show. And we have never had a show that costed more than $25 for a ticket so far. Generally... it would be a nice, cheap night out for you.
Jesus, Joe, stop talking about yourself. What an entertaining
I was actually
narcissist.
talking about others.
All you do is talk. You're like Obama. Just talk about me, I.
All
right. So, Joe.
I could become Trump.
Or we'll just have like some clone.
And then I would talk about nothing but myself and Biden.
So sadly, all podcasts must come to an end. But I'm not going to do it, or I'm not going to let you go away without being nice to you. Okay. So this is what I'm going to say, because I have another guy actually stacked at 2:00, and we got to wrap it up. This was my favorite podcast to date, and Joe Shelton has a wonderful podcast, and he's been doing it for so long, and like doesn't like let the challenges of life and the fucking inanity and the just the burden of just getting up and setting stuff up. So like I respect the shit out of you, Joe, because like you're a doer, man. Like you do it, and I've always admired about you, and I think that's why you and I became chums. So I want to really, really highly suggest that people check out Joe's music, people check out Joe's podcast, people just check out Joe, because in the art world, there's so much facade, and there's so much image, and there's so much bullshit. You know, oh, look at this great punk band. They're burning down the stage. And then you meet them, and they're like, okay.
They're geeks.
Right. But Joe's a doer, and he's in the business and all of that. So, Joe, I want to thank you for coming. Having a
Thank you for having
podcaster that I always admired and who always opened up their podcast to me to be as weird, I'm happy to kind of finally just come back around and have you on one of mine.
Yeah, one of these days I'll find out what actually happened with the manatees. You know?
To be continued. All right, everybody. Take care.